Hockey season is here and we're checking in with area teams. UW Whitewater gives us a full Warhawk report, and we caught up with Duke's Coach K for a special interview. All that and much more. Keep watching. Your local sports news starts now. Thanks for joining us for the sports news. I'm Jessa Jeremiah, and here are your local headlines. In hockey, the Edgewood Crusaders pulled together a win over Madison West recently. After a 1-0 deficit in the first period, the Edgewood Crusaders tied up the game 1-1. Going into the second period tied, the Crusaders then pulled off another 5 goals in a row. Grant Reichenbacher led the Crusaders in scoring with 3 of the 6 total goals. The Crusaders ended the game 6-1, giving them their second win of the season. In statewide football recruiting news, several more high school seniors have made college decisions or have been offered. Johnny Duranzo, Arrowhead senior quarterback, has decided to continue his football career at UW Oshkosh. Madison Memorial junior Jake Ferguson has been offered from Wisconsin, Iowa, Northern Illinois, and Nebraska. Cody Markle of Middleton, who earned state recognition, announced he will play at Vanderbilt. Sam Roots of Franklin, the senior offensive lineman, will likely go to Western Illinois. In high school basketball, fans take note as the 2016 Girls State Basketball Championship details have been announced. The championships and semifinals will take place March 10th, 11th, and 12th at the Resch Center in Green Bay. On Thursday the 10th will be Divisions 3 and 4 semifinals, and on Friday the 11th, Divisions 5, 2, and 1. The Divisions 1 through 5 will enter the championships on Saturday, March 12th. The state competition takes place after regionals in February and sectionals March 3rd and 5th. In Badger news, Tim Crumry was elected Friday to the National College Football Hall of Fame. Crumry played from the Badgers from 79 to 82 and never missed a start in his 46 games. He led the Badgers in tackling in each of his 4 seasons and still ranks 3rd in school history with 444 career tackles, the most ever by a defensive lineman. Crumry was the first Wisconsin defensive player to make College Football Hall of Fame. If you'd like additional information on these headlines, please reference the media sources you see listed on your screen. Also, you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. Thanks so much for watching the sports news, brought to you in part by the Red Zone Sports Bar in downtown Madison. For sports, music, and the best pub grub in town, visit the Red Zone. When we return, we are taking on hockey, so stay with us. The sports news will be right back. Welcome back to the sports news. I'm Jessa Jeremiah. Earlier, we caught up with the Wisconsin Whalers. Take a look at that report. Welcome back to the sports news. I'm Jessa Jeremiah. We are bringing you all the latest in local sports, including talking hockey today. We bring you first to your Wisconsin Whalers report. We've got Max McConnell and Matthew Carr joining us from the Whalers. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Great. So I'm looking forward to speaking with you again. We've chatted with you a little bit earlier in the season about your hockey team, but for folks who aren't familiar with the Wisconsin Whalers, give them just a quick rundown of what your team is made up of.
The Wisconsin Whalers are a junior hockey team who play in the NA3HL out of Oregon, Wisconsin. The NA3 consists of teams from all over the country, so it's pretty high-level competition for junior hockey, and it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly enjoy having you and checking in on where you are this season. Now, I understand that folks come from all over. You two are both from Middleton, but explain a little bit about how it works with students who are coming in from other areas.
Well, we have a lot of kids from all over the place. We've got kids from Iowa and Minnesota and a lot from Illinois. We even have a kid from Sweden. So the players will move in with a host family, so they'll move to Oregon or Madison or a surrounding area, and they'll move in with a family and just pretty much live with them and then play hockey with us. So
So a lot of dedication it takes there. They're moving from all over the place to come here and play junior hockey.
For sure.
And you've recently had, it was this weekend, right? You had a showcase. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, this weekend we just got back from Blaine, Minnesota. It went really well. It was the NA3 Showcase tournament. A lot of the guys got talked to by scouts, and we're really turning the season around, so everything's looking good.
Yeah, so you're mentioning you have had a couple losses earlier in the season. You're on a nice winning streak now. Share with us what your record is. You're going into a 2-week break, but tell us where you're wrapping up before your break.
Yep, our record is 17 wins and 10 losses so far. We got a nice 2-week break, so everybody can recover. We got a few injuries from this weekend.
And you're going to come back from break, and then you're going to be in the second half of your season. Just give us a quick, kind of roundup of what you're looking forward to.
Once we get back from our 2-week break, we get right back to it, practicing every day, 1 day off per week.
Wow.
And then playoffs start in March.
Okay, so we'll look forward to for you guys to come back and let us know where you are after a nice break, but a well-deserved break, and we thank you so much for your report. This is Max McConnell and Matthew Carr with the Wisconsin Whalers. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks once again to the Wisconsin Whalers for your report. We turn our attention now to wrestling. Joining us is Andy Lehman and Jordan Meyer. Andy's the varsity assistant wrestling coach for Evansville Albany, and varsity wrestler Jordan is joining us, and we're glad to have you guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yep, thanks for having us.
Yeah, you guys are in a great position right now. Evansville Albany Wrestling is in position to win their 9th conference championship in 10 years. A great place to be. What's your secret to success so far?
We've had a pretty good run of some good athletes come through our program. Our youth program's done a nice job of getting those athletes to us. And then, one of the big things that we try to really focus on is the team unity concept, and getting kids in our practice room to buy into the idea that everybody counts, whether you're a starter, second or third backup. You never know when you're going to get in there. So kids have done a nice job of that, and it's really helped us to get to where we've been.
Yeah, and what do you think is your toughest opponent coming up left in the Rock Valley Conference? Who are you worried about?
Well, we only have one conference match left, and that's East Troy. So that's in 2 weeks, and they're always a quality program. So a couple weeks, we'll see how we do against those guys.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit from an individual aspect as a wrestler on the team. Jordan, what are your goals as an individual and just for the team?
For individually, I just want to get a chance to get back at the state tournament and do as well as I can there. Hopefully I'll get there, and hope I've done enough work in the off season and during this season and get back up on top of the podium.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as a team, hopefully, work as hard as we can the rest of the season, hopefully get back to get a chance at the state tournament again.
Yeah, and what do you think it takes to be an Evansville Albany wrestler? What's the number one thing you got to have?
I think it just takes a lot of determination and dedication, not only on the mat, but outside the wrestling room and in the classrooms. The coaches really put a lot of trust in us to get our grades up and stay out of trouble outside of the room.
That's a good philosophy to have. I think this is obviously a great team, and I really like your attitude and your philosophy going through the season so far. We wish you the best of the luck as you continue on. Jordan, thanks so much. Coach, we appreciate your Evansville Albany wrestling report.
Thank you.
When we return, we're going to check in with the UW Whitewater Warhawks. That report is next on the Sports News. Welcome back to the Sports News. I'm Jessa Jeremiah. Earlier this week, we caught up with UW Whitewater and talked to the Warhawks. Here's that report. We're joined now by Amy Edmonds, Athletic Director for University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Such a pleasure to see you today, Amy. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So you're here to tell us about the Warhawks. You've had a fabulous fall season. Why don't you give us a recap of some of the fall sports, if you would?
Yeah, so we started off really well. We had 5 of our 7 fall programs go into postseason play through the NCAA, which was phenomenal. Our women's soccer team reached the national quarterfinals for the first time in their history of the program. Women's volleyball were able to host the NCAA regional, which we've been waiting quite a long time to get that opportunity to do that. So it was over 10 years the last time we were able to host that. So that was wonderful to have on our campus. Men's soccer team continues to do well. They reached the second round of the NCAA tournament going into this past season. And then we had Brett Harms qualify for the NCAA cross country championship. So it was a wonderful fall. I'm very proud of our coaches, our staff, as well as our student athletes.
Yeah, that's a great recap. I'm sure you're very proud, as you should be. And I want to talk to you about football too. So let's move on to football. This was the first season under new head coach Kevin Bullis. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we had a ton of changes within our coaching staff. Lance Leipold was part of our program for many years, and unprecedented, he was able to secure a position at the University of New York at Buffalo. Wonderful jump from Division III to Division I, so we're really proud of him. And then he also took a lot of the staff along with him, again, unprecedented for Division III, and so went through a process, through the state process of hiring, and Kevin Bullis was the best guy to put in that position. And so I couldn't be more proud of all the challenges they had going into this season and overcoming a lot of things, even though we had a loss. And we haven't had a loss in a long time. And so we were able to recover from that and then reach into our 10th national semifinal in 11 years. So I couldn't be more proud of what Coach Bullis and his leadership and getting all the men and new staff on the same course and getting all the buy-in that's needed to have a nationally successful program.
Yeah, absolutely incredible, especially considering the change of hands. And you must be very excited going into the winter season. How's that going so far?
Yeah, I'm so thankful for the staff that we have in the athletic department. Not only did we have a successful fall season, which then creeps into the winter season, and so our winter programs haven't missed a beat. Our women's basketball program's undefeated right now, and they're ranked 6th in the country. And then we have our men's basketball program, who lost 2 All-Americans from last season, and so it's a rebuilding year for them. And man, they're just a lot of fun to watch, and they're doing really well there. They're currently ranked 15th in the country, and they're 10-2 overall. So we're excited to see how that program continues to develop and grow. Our women's bowling team is ranked in the top 10 in the nation. And what's interesting about bowling, it's with all divisions, 1, 2, and 3. They don't have a specific Division III championship. So when they're competing all over the country against Division I and II programs. So that'll continue to be fun to see how they grow and where they end up this year. Our wrestling season's in full swing, and we have a new head coach there, Ned Shuck, and he's really done a wonderful job in year 2 to get all the men on the same page and expectations and what they want to achieve here by the end of the season. Gymnastics, a highly decorated program as well under Jen Regan, and they start competition this weekend rather, so it'll be exciting to see how they end up. But very excited about it, wonderful transfers that have come in, strong program, so it'll be, again, lots of fun to see how they go. And then our spring program starts, so track and field starts, and then in a few weeks, so will softball and baseball. So it's crazy in our department, but a lot of fun to see how things unfold.
Thanks, Amy. What a great rundown of awesome athletic programs at UW-Whitewater. We appreciate your report. This is Amy Edmonds, Athletic Director of UW-Whitewater.
Thank you again for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks once again to the AD of UW-Whitewater for your Warhawk report. We turn our attention back to hockey. Joining us is Katrin Olson and Sydney Urso from the Stoughton Girls Co-op hockey team, the Icebergs. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
So glad to have you. I want to talk to you a little bit about this co-op team. This is an interesting setup that you have. We'll get to that in just a minute. But what got you interested in playing hockey? When did you ladies start?
I started playing when I was about 5. My brothers played high school. My brothers played hockey all through high school.
And what do you think is your favorite part of the game itself, playing the game?
Just being able to go out on the ice and just give it everything I got every single time I go out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great. Good for you both for getting involved in sports, and hockey's a great one to be a part of. What do you find to be the most fun part overall of the hockey experience?
I think it's just being able to play with a bunch of girls from different played with a bunch of girls from different schools and being able to meet a bunch of different people.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about that. So this is a co-op, as we mentioned when we introduced you. Tell us a little bit about how that works and what aspects of playing with a co-op makes the experience better. So this is multiple areas coming together into one team, right?
Yeah.
So how does that work? What schools are involved or what cities are part of this co-op?
Well, there's McFarland, Stoughton, Oregon, Monona Grove, and Evansville.
Okay, so you're all coming together to play under the name of the Icebergs, and I'm sure you guys are able to kind of feed off of each other and the energy a little bit, and as you said, you get to meet some folks from some other areas and other high schools. What do you think is the best part of that?
I don't know, just being able to play with a bunch of different girls, and everyone has a different style, everyone's come from a different school, everyone knows different ways, so everything together comes differently.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's wonderful. What would you like for folks out there who are watching, maybe some younger girls who are possibly interested in, trying out different sports? What would you say about what you've learned so far playing on a hockey team? It's a tough one, I know, but
well, I guess just teamwork and energy and positive energy is a big thing, to stay positive, even if you're losing and stuff, and to keep working.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great life lesson. It's just a great thing to be a part of a team, and I think you guys have done a great job coming together, working with some other ladies from some other schools, and we commend you for that. So thanks so much for joining us today for our special Girls Hockey Report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more sports news after the break, so stick around. Welcome back to the Sports News. I'm Jessa Jeremiah, and earlier I had the privilege of catching up with Duke's Coach K for a very special interview, and here it is.
This celebrity interview is made possible in part by Capital Brewery.
Coach K is one of the winningest coaches in college. He's also suffered from osteoarthritis, which is the most common form of arthritis. He's here now to help others, and he is joined by retired U.S. Marine Colonel Ron, and we're so pleased to have both of you. Thanks so much for taking the time today.
Thanks for having us on, Jessa.
Thank you.
So we've got lots to talk about in terms of osteoarthritis and how you can help others. Coach K, I hope you don't mind, we're going to talk basketball for just a second. Talk to us in your words, how's the team looking, the division as a whole as well this year?
Well, we have a young group and lost a lot of guys from our team from last year. But we've played 9 games, we've won 8 of them, and we're better now than we were 3 weeks ago, which that's a good sign, and we're also healthy. And being healthy is not just a good thing for my team, but also what Ron and I want to talk about today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a perfect segue to what we're going to talk about. Throughout the years, Coach, you've spent a lot of time on your feet. So talk to us a little bit about how that's affected you in terms of our topic today.
Well, there are a lot of people who spend a lot of time on their feet. You have nurses, firemen, policemen. You have people who carry a lot of heavy items. You have a lot of people who have osteoarthritis, whether it be knee or hip pain. And Ron and I have joined DePuy Synthes and their team, who've been fighting to help people with joint replacement for decades, to start a campaign this week called The Hardest Working Knees. And you can read about it on allaboutKneePain.com, allaboutKneePain.com. And basically it'll help, give you advice on how to fight osteoarthritis and give you the names of physicians in your area, and that's basically who you should see, get professional care. And it may not be surgery. There are other interventions that could take place, and DePuy Synthes is doing a great job they're going to make a good donation to Project Return to Work, Inc., which helps our veterans return to the workplace when they finish their service to our country.
Well, I think that's great what you're doing to bring it to a local level here too for folks who are in need of some assistance. And Ron, you're joining Coach K. We appreciate you and your efforts. Let's talk a little bit about why you're honoring people with hardworking knees, as you say.
Yes,
The pain started about 4 or 5 years ago with osteoarthritis. I had been very active in the Marine Corps all those years, and I had completed over 50-something marathons, and I thought I was invincible, but I found out when I got osteoarthritis that the pain became worse. It wasn't going to fix itself. It wasn't going to get better. So I reluctantly, it impacted my home life as well as my professional life. At work, I couldn't even walk from one building to the next. I'd have to get a ride over because it was so painful. And at home, I could no longer ride the love of my life with a Harley. I couldn't pull it up off the kickstand at 900 pounds because I had to push it with my left knee, which I couldn't do without a lot of pain. So I went down to the physician finally, waited too long, and he referred me over to a orthopedic clinic, orthopedic surgeon who performed a surgery very successfully with the DePuy Synthes product in my knee. And after 6 weeks of extensive physical therapy recovery measures, my knee continued to progress, no pain, culminating 7 months later with having run my 54th marathon 14 months ago, and then 2 months ago I completed my 55th marathon, all with no pain. So we're hoping our stories will inspire your listeners to go to that website that the coach mentioned about all my knee pain, allaboutkneepain.com, and find out more about osteoarthritis as well as the treatments available and as well as physicians in your area.
Yeah, well, that's quite the story. You've come full circle in healing, and we appreciate you sharing your personal story with us. Thank you so much for doing that, and we thank you for your service as well. Coach K, I want to get back to you for just a minute here. Let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced as well in specifics to osteoarthritis, and talk to us about how you were able to deal with them.
Well, I didn't deal with them very well. I let it linger, and I spent an entire season compensating, and it just kept getting worse, and I used my energy primarily to fight pain instead of my opponent, and to give energy to my team. And at the end of the season, I really felt bad about myself, and that I should have had the surgery done way before. And then after having the surgery, I said, boy, that was not very smart, because you feel great, you're back to normal activity, and the pain's gone. And that's what Ron and I are trying to get the message across, that you shouldn't lead your life fighting pain. Let DePuy Synthes help you, and go to allaboutkneepain.com, and you might get the advice that's needed, or go to a physician, and that's the main thing. Go to a physician and get their advice. And don't live with pain. Get rid of the pain.
Well, I thank you so much for that advice, and for viewers out there who may be experiencing some of the things that you talked about today. We really appreciate your personal stories. And Ron, we greatly appreciate your service. Coach K, it's been an honor chatting with you today, and we thank you very much.
Thanks for having us on, Jessa.
Thank you very much.
A very special thank you to Coach K for his time and interview. We'll be right back with the sports news, so stay right there.
This celebrity interview is made possible in part by Capital Brewery.
I'd like to thank the many guests for your sports news reports, and a very special thank you to the Red Zone Sports Bar in downtown Madison. For music, sports, and the best pub grub in town, visit the Red Zone. That's it for the sports news. I'm Jessa Jeremiah. Please join us next time.